Welcome back, folks, for a new episode of Liberté. Now, 9.16 test server just came out, and with it, the main directory files for the test server client also gets updated with new vehicle contents that's not available to the normal public. So you already know the format, you already know the drill. We're going to use Tank Inspector to take a look at these new stuff. So today we'll cover the armor buff on the 112, the Somua SM, the AMX M4 model 1949, Liberté, the T92 Light Tank, and the Landsverk L-60. So I did not cover most of these vehicles with leaked-ish videos or leaked videos because they did not have the HD models yet, but surprisingly they have all the stuff in the test server, so I'm gobsmacked. But let's get started with the armor buff on the 112. So they removed this vehicle from the premium shop about a patch or two patches ago, so that sucks, but they buffed this vehicle with the HD remodel significantly. So here you can see we have the old version on the left and the new version on the right with the HD remodel and the shininess. So the original maximum armor is only 240mm on the turret, so it's rounded. It's about 280ish millimeter effective to auto bounce. But the new armor, the thickest, is 300mm plating on some strips of the turret. So it's thicker now. It's a lot more effective against your high explosive anti-tank at the front. So the turret is a lot more bouncy. The mantlet is still pretty strong, up to 600mm effective-ish, 700mm. So the same old turret, but it's a lot more bouncy against high penetration shells, so that's always nice. The cross section on the hull has changed from a T selection or T section, whatever you call this, to a V shape like the Soviets. So it's a lot more bouncy on the sides and less surface area to get hit at the front. It's still 120mm frontal plate, so upper plate is still 120, but still pretty bouncy for tier 8. But here is the coup de grace. It's 140mm sloped lower plate as opposed to the original 80mm. So the lower plate gets buffed by 60mm. That's 75% buff to the lower plate. It's about 220mm effective ish, 210 now, whereas originally it's 110. Effective armor goes up by 100mm. That's insane. This rivals the IS-6 now. So the upper plate is bouncy, the lower plate is also pretty bouncy. So this rivals the IS-6. You still have the cupola on top, so that's still a problem, but the Chinese vehicles have more shells, more of the 122, because the IS-6 carries only 30 rounds of the D25T, whereas the 112 carries 45 rounds, and the WZ-111 also carries a lot of shells for the 112. So, and they use high explosive anti-tank rather than APCR with a lot more penetration. So they buffed the crap out of this tank, but they took this tank away from the premium shop a patch ago, so you cannot buy it. I see what you guys did, you sons of bitches. I wish I bought this tank. I did not have enough money to buy it, but it went so unceremoniously away from the premium shop, because originally when they took away premium tanks like the Yak Tiger 88 or the TOG 2, they have a whole event about it. So here is your last chance to buy these premium tanks before they're gone, before they're honorably discharged. But they just took away the 112 because it wasn't that popular. Now they buffed the crap out of it. So to see you guys being salty, wow, that's you sly sons of bitches. Watch what you say, Sam. YouTube policy. Fuck YouTube policy, I don't care. But here you can see the side armor is also slanted downwards, so it's a V shape, not a T shape now. So it's buffed. It's a lot more bouncy on the sides. So it's about Let's give it a better angle. Alright, so it's about 220 millimeter through the side skirts, but originally it's only 160. So side armor gets buffed. Buffed? Yeah, buffed. It should be buffed because it's sloped downwards, right? So the tracks are a little bit thicker to cover up the middle section of this plate right here. So originally it's 139. Here is 158. Is it buff on the side armor too? Side armor gets buffed from 80 millimeter to 100. This is basically the Chinese IS-6. Side of the turret is 130. 130. Yep. The usual. Alright, rear armor is crap. Should be 60. 60. Alright, so basically they buffed the side armor from 80 millimeter. Here you can see 80, to 100 with thicker tracks to cover up a little bit more of the middle area. And upper plate is still the same, so still bouncy, but the lower plate is buffed by 75% in thickness. Actual thickness, effective thickness is way higher. So, holy crap, this is 80. This is 140. The turret front also gets buffed. That's insane. Well, let's take a look at the other stats. So DPM is about the same. Yep, DPM is the same. Dispersion is slightly better. So here you can see 0.221 as opposed to 0.24. So slightly better. Yep, better dispersion on the move. That's good. Traverse is the same. Gun depression is the same. Everything else the same. Okay. Engine power the same. Horsepower per ton ratio the same. Terrain resistance is the same. Health is the same. View range is the same. Okay. Oh, better firing. Stationary view range or camouflage rating. My mistake. Wow. So basically, they buffed the dispersion on the move and buffed the armor. And it's still a Chinese premium tier 8 with a lot more 122 rounds and high explosive anti-tank as well. So this rivals the IS-6 now. Oh, well, imagine the IS-6 without the cheeks, the sloped cheeks as weakness. You sly, shrewd salespeople. You take away a premium tank, you buff the hell out of it, and resell it for more value. I see what you guys did. Alright, but that's... Wow, that's... I'm so salty I do not have, or did not bought this vehicle when it was in the premium shop. So, super salty. But let's take a look at the Somua SM. I did not cover this vehicle with a leaked video. I will, but been grinding the T44-100, so my mistake. But this is basically a alternative to the M4 project. So it's another competing design for the AMX M4. So originally it's like the AMX 5100. The M4 evolves into the AMX 50 project. So I already talked about this with the AMX 65T and the previous AMX M4 model 1949 video. But this is just another competing design with the oscillating turret and looks like a Panther. So it's basically a premium AMX 5120. Well, 5100. My mistake. But has the same 100mm. Yep. Fires a little bit more slowly, but we'll take a look. So upper plate is a little bit better than the actual 5100. So the 5100 has only 90mm at the front, whereas this vehicle has 120. So it's a little bit more bouncy at the front. Lower plate is 90, so you could take some hits. Side armor is crap, only 50mm. Oscillating turret, so you do have 150 at the turret ring, but don't get hit at the turret. It will penetrate. So what's surprising about this vehicle is it has 10 degrees of gun depression. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look at more stuff. I need more data. Show as much stats as possible. There you go. So penetration is like the AMX 5100. Alpha is the same, but DPM is a little bit worse. It's a premium tank. And here is the caveat. So rate of fire is lower because it has only 5 rounds in the magazine. It's not 6 rounds. And takes 1 second longer between each shot. So it's not really a burst vehicle because only 5 rounds and more time between each shot. So DPM is on the very low side of tier 8 heavy tanks. Accuracy is not as good as the 5100. Better aim time though, and better dispersion with 10 degrees of gun depression, so you could go haul down with this vehicle. Surprisingly, horsepower is better per ton. So yeah, and terrain resistance is the same health, less view range by 30 meters. It's becoming Russian with the view range. Radio is kinda crap, but it's alright. Less camo, so that sucks. No preferential matchmaking, we'll see tier 10s. So is this vehicle worth it? It's a premium 5100 if you want, but it takes longer to pump out shots, so that's a problem. So DPM is not the best, and it's not that great of a burst vehicle because the time between each shot and less shots in the magazine. So reload is a little bit faster, but you have 1 less round. So yeah, but better dispersion on the move and slightly thicker frontal plate armor. So it's up to you, but that's pretty much this vehicle in a nutshell. Here is the AMX M4 Liberté. So it has the special camo, special painting of a camo, I guess. But yep, surprisingly, I learned the French national bird is a cock. I'm sorry, it's a rooster. It's a Gallic rooster, but it's a cock. All right, just I'm gonna make that joke. But yeah, it's a specially painted AMX M4 model 1949. Now I covered this vehicle with a leak episode about a year ago, but they nerfed the crap out of it because it was kinda OP based on the armor. So frontal plate armor is pretty thick. It's 180 sloped, so it gives you about 215 millimeter effective to 240 with this extra tracks right here. Cheeks, auto bounce. Turret armor is also pretty strong, 250, so you could go haul down with this vehicle. With 10 degrees of gun depression. Still have the weak cupola on top though. So side armor is garbage. 40 millimeter will be overmatched with 120 millimeter guns. So rear armor crap. Rear of the turret crap. Side of the turret is whatever. So yeah, they nerf the DPM of this vehicle to hell. So they nerfed the DPM to like the AMX 5100, not the AMX 5100, the Somua SM. So they nerfed the crap out of the DPM. The penetration is still above average, but the alpha is low. So the reload is about 11.5 seconds. So it's like the 122s on the Russian tanks, except you don't have the 390 alpha. So that view range crap. Better camo, radio, alright. Accuracy is alright. Dispersion is alright. 10 degrees of gun depression, 20 elevation. Turret traverse is slightly above average. Hull traverse, average. Horsepower per ton ratio, alright, but terrain resistance is crap, so we'll get bogged down. Has no preferential matchmaking, we'll see tier 10s. So basically, originally, this vehicle had about 2000 DPM. And yeah, that was pretty good since it has the armor and the DPM. So it's like the T34. So yeah, they nerfed the crap out of the DPM. That sucks, but you do get a special camo with it and a cock. But I don't know what I feel about the 100 less DPM or 200 less DPM than the AMX 5100. So let's try to improve it. Oh, it's a medium caliber tank gun rammer, so don't waste that much credits on a large caliber tank gun rimmer. So vents, yeah, let's see how much this thing does. Oh, average. Still below average, even with equipments. That sucks. Alright, but it has the armor, so let's compare this thing to the T34, just to be sure. T34. The T34 doesn't have that much DPM. So, yeah, 100 less DPM than the T34, but the T34 has more penetration and more alpha. So, takes out more chunks of health and better accuracy. This vehicle has better aim time with better dispersion. Same gun depression, better elevation, same crappy view range, better camo, better horsepower per turn ratio at the cost of terrain resistance. So this is basically the French version of a T34. However, T34 does not have 40mm of side armor. So side armor on this vehicle is crap. You cannot side scrape. It will be overmatched in most cases. And the tracks are not that huge. Whereas on the T34, yeah, 76mm is a lot better than 40. And the tracks are a little bit bigger. So, yep. The turret front and less cupola size. So, yeah, French version of a T34. Is it worth it? I wish they did not nerf the DPM, but that would be broken, so oh well. And let's take a look at the T92 Light Tank. American T92. I will cover this vehicle soon, but it's pretty small. It's very flat, has no armor whatsoever, so only 13mm on the upper plate. Lower plate is 19. Some strips are 20, 22-ish. 29-ish, but does not bounce a shot, so do not rely on the armor. It's a light tank, but this vehicle is small, has a 76mm with APCR shells as default, so that's good. It's like the T71s and the Bulldogs. Yep. So penetration is above average, alpha below average, DPM below average, so it's alright. Carries 60 rounds. And APCR shells flies pretty quick. Accuracy, American, so not that great, but very fast to aim. And dispersion on the move is pretty good, 10 degrees of gun depression. There is a cleft on the gun arc. What the frick? Why is there a bulge right here where it cannot aim down? So 10 degrees. There must be something here. I don't know. Let's take a look. Is this vent cyclone? There's a vent right here, but that's not the spot, is it? It's right here. Huh. I don't know. Why is there a bulge? Maybe radio operator? No, this is the loader position. Driver, loader, or gunner. One of these is commander. I think there... No. The gunner and the commander are on the same side as opposed to a loader. I don't know, whatever. So there is a cleft in the gun arc, surprisingly, but 10 degrees of gun depression, still pretty good. Turret traverse, fast. Hull traverse, lightning fast, 70 degrees per second. Horsepower per turn ratio, slightly below average, but 20 is still decent. Hull traverse, pretty fast. Top speed only 60, so not as fast, but still fast. Terrain resistance is off the charts, so this vehicle does not get bogged down. Health is rather low on the low end side. 400 meters of view range, crazy camo, and normal matchmaking. So let's compare this thing to something like the T71. So better DPM because single shot. Better terrain resistance at the cost of horsepower per turn ratio, better accuracy and dispersion and gun depression and traverse, and better camo. So interesting. Let's take a look at other stuff like the Bulldog. Yeah, better camo than Bulldog. What about the LTTB? It has better camo than the LTTB. What about the AMX? If it has better camo than the AMX series, I'll be surprised. It has better camo than the French And the French are known for camouflage. It has better camo than the AMX 1375. Holy crap. That's a lot. So this thing might be the most sneaky tier 7 light tank. Yep, better than the Chinese. Yep, better than the Chinese. Better than the French. So this camo is insane. And the terrain resistance is very good. Very good. Dispersion also pretty good. It's a small vehicle, a lot of penetration. It's pretty fast as well, and turns on a dime. So I think this could be next year's grand final light tank with Wargaming's logo plastered on this vehicle. But as a light tank, or as a premium light tank, Wargaming usually do not sell premium light tanks unless it's the grand finals time with the Bulldog, the German Bulldog, and the AMX 1357. So this is a pretty good light tank. Very good. Very fast. No armor though, but it's a small target. So it's worth it. And finally, let's finish off with the L-60, the Landsverk L-60 light tank. So this influenced the T93, so the German version, or the Hungarian version, my mistake. But it's a tier 2 light tank with no armor. Only 13mm at best. You'll get penetrated by Panzer 1Cs and the, what's that thing called? The T3 HMC. The replacement to the T18 with the howitzer, the 75mm howitzer. You get one-shotted. So no armor, has a 20mm auto cannon. So DPM is below average for tier 2 standards. Only 27mm of pin. Wow, that sucks. Premium ammo has 30, 38, 37-ish. That's only 10 more. 27mm of pin. That's garbage. That's really garbage. Accuracy is crap. Dispersion is alright. 10 degrees of gun depression. Camo, there is some camo. No view range. No DPM. No alpha. Shell velocity is alright. Horsepower per ton ratio is above average. Terrain resistance is decent. Ultraverse decent. Top speed decent. So basically, this is machine gun car thing. Let's compare it with something like a machine gun car thing. T7 combat car. So better DPM, slightly. Same crappy penetration. Better alpha. Better accuracy. Not as good horsepower per ton ratio, but better terrain resistance. Same crappy view range, better camo. So basically, this is the Swedish version of a T7 combat car. I mean, the T7 car has a lot of ammo in a clip, shells in magazine 50, whereas this vehicle has only 10. Takes about 5 seconds to reload, whereas the car has 23 seconds of reload. So it's a machine gun car thing. It's likely going to be a New Year's gift for this December, but I'm not excited. Not really. So there you go, folks. The new tanks added to the test server for patch 9.16. It's mainly about the 112 buff. The Chinese 112 is insane. I mean, the lower plate gets buffed by friggin' 75%. You see that? 140. 140. Whereas originally, it's 80. So here is the original one. Zoom in, lower plate. It's 80mm at the lower plate, whereas now it's 140. That's insane. Side armor gets buffed, cross section gets buffed to a V shape. I wish I bought this thing. So there you go, folks. The new tanks. It's insane, but it sucks that the AMX M4 got nerfed, and the Somua SM is not that special, so meh. But the T92 is pretty awesome. The Landsverk L-60 is whatever. So yeah, look forward to the American light tank at tier 7 competing against the T71, the T71 CMCD, and the Bulldog. So a lot of American light tanks at tier 7 and the buff to the 112. So if you already have a 112, congratulations. I feel so salty I did not get this vehicle. But there you go, folks. That's the video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys next time. I wish I bought this thing.